action figures and play!
Welcome to the newest edition of TNInews with your host, JC. Hey, all you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here, and welcome to a Monday live stream edition of TNInews. Now, we've got a lot going on today. We've got a lot of news that just kind of came out. I really was mostly planning on just doing a giveaway to the Cobra Rattler today, but then we got hit with all this news that I'm going to be going over. But yes, I mentioned it on Wednesday that I was looking to give away a Haslab Cobra Rattler, and I mentioned it again in Friday's regular video for you to tune in today if you want a chance to win. And so, yes, during the live stream today, we are going to give away a Haslab G.I. Joe Cobra Rattler, which has now been fully funded along with all the stretch goals. It reached the 18,000 needed for stretch goal number 3 on Saturday. Last time I checked, it was over 20,000 backers. So, everything is going to be included with the Rattler. And one lucky person tuning in today is going to be able to win one for free. So this is how this is going to work. Throughout the live stream, I've written up 5 trivia questions, all related to either the Rattler itself, G.I. Joe trivia questions related to the Rattler itself, or the Rattler's main man, Wild Weasel. So throughout the course of this live stream, I will, draw a card and ask the question. The first correct answer that I see on my screen over here will be the name the name I announce. That is the name that will go into this pot. And then at the end of the live stream, after we've asked all the questions, I will draw one name from the bucket, and whoever's name is drawn will be the winner of the live stream. Now, one special note here is because the campaign ends today, the way this will work is whoever ends up winning, they will need to email me their name and mailing address so that when I go to the Hasbro Pulse website and I purchase one or back one, instead of putting my name and mailing address in, I will put your name and mailing address in so that when Hasbro decides to ship these out, one will go to your house. But because this campaign is ending today, that means you have to make sure you get me your information very quickly. So as soon as this video ends, I will have my email in the video description below. It's jay@enewsi.com. So it's pretty simple. But again, as soon as this live stream ends, you will want to email me to give me your information because normally I'll say if for some reason you're not here by the end of the live stream when we draw the name, just check back tomorrow and see if your name won. But we're under a time constraint because once the campaign ends and I can no longer put your information in, then that's the ball game. So I got to have your information today so that I can go on and make the purchase and give them your information so that they can get it sent out to you when it ships. But if you waited until tomorrow, the campaign will be over and I wouldn't be able to do that. So, let's just pop over. So right now we have 8 hours, 54 minutes and 19 seconds left until the campaign ends. We are at 22,944 backers. So, this may end up ending somewhere at 25. I wouldn't even be surprised if it hit 30 before all was said and done. But main thing here is if I don't have your information before this 8 hours, 54 minutes, then I won't be able to submit it in and you won't be able to get your Haslab Cobra Rattler. So that's how it's going to work. And again, as far as the way the trivia contest goes, I'll draw a card. I'll ask the question. The first name I see with the correct answer is the one I will pick. Now, I want to make sure I stress that because sometimes in the past when we've done these trivia contests, someone will say their name and correct answer popped up first on their screen. And I don't know how that works. Generally, if you see names pop, when people make comments here, on the screen. They may pop up in a different order on your screen than they do with me. I don't know, but I'm going to be going, this is for fun. I'm going to be picking the first name with the first correct answer that I see on my screen. And that when I announce that name, that's the name that will go in the bucket. So in other words, I don't want to be like, oh, I got the answer first. I got the answer first. It's going to be based on the one I see first over here on the screen where I see all of your comments pop up. Bill, again, my email is jay@enewsi.com, but I will have that as soon as this video ends and it becomes a regular video. It will be in the video description. So if you end up winning, you can just go there and get my email. All right. So, well, you know what? Like I said, I've got 5 questions. So that means, and you can get more than one question right. So it's not like one correct question per person. If you got all the questions right first, you're guaranteed to win. So, but there's a potential for 5 different people since there's 5 different questions. So let's go on and do our first question here. Again, all questions are G.I. Joe related, specifically to either the Rattler or the Rattler's main man, the pilot, Wild Weasel. Okay. Okay. And it can be from cartoon, it can be from comics, toy. So just it's not related to one specific media, but it is all related to either Wild Weasel or the Rattler itself. So question number 1. What Marvel comic title did Wild Weasel first appear in? What G.I. Joe issue of the Marvel comic run did Wild Weasel first appear in? That is the question. Stinky Cat Butt, issue 24 is the first correct answer that I saw, and that is correct. It was issue 24, was Wild Weasel's first appearance in the comics, the Marvel G.I. Joe comic run. So congratulations to Stinky Cat Butt. Writing your name down on the card, and then I will enter it into the bucket for drawing at the end. So hopefully you will stick around to the end of the live stream to see if your name is drawn. So we are putting that name in the bucket. So we've got 4 questions left, and we'll spread it out again. So let's jump into some of the news before we get to another question. And a lot of news today, a lot of big news, honestly. So let's go on and switch over to Marvel. Dragon Man went up for pre-order today, so we finally gotten all the details. I talked about on Friday how I was thinking, or was it Wednesday? But last week, sometime when I was talking about Dragon Man, I said I thought it was going to go up around PulseCon time. So I was thinking this week. I was thinking later in the week, but they went on and threw it up. So we now know the price, $85, lower than I thought. I thought it was going to be about $100. I know some people were thinking it was going to be $200. I was like, if this thing costs $200, I'm definitely not getting it. But $85, I think, is a pretty good price for it. Limited time pre-orders we've talked about before. So same thing with like the Haslab. You've got a pre-order window between now and October 17th. So the difference between this and the Haslab is we don't know, there is no stated minimum number. So unless they get next to no pre-orders, I'm guessing they will almost assuredly be going forward with this. And, it's slightly possible if they way got under pre-orders that they could cancel, but I don't think that's going to happen, especially at $85. So, sorry, just want to get that. So, and we got some new images as well. We saw this at San Diego Comic-Con, but now we've got some updated images. Has the book, wings, expanded wings, and folded in wings. So the wings themselves don't fold in, but you do get alternate wings if you prefer the wings not to be expanded, which is nice. An extra pair of hands, the book, and a pair of reading glasses. So pretty good. And I mean, again, the prototype at San Diego was very nicely detailed. There it is with a regular 6-inch Reed Richards figure. This thing stands over about 10 inches tall. The tail has articulation. So that is your Dragon Man. Again, pre-orders are open now on Hasbro Pulse. This will only be sold at Hasbro Pulse, at least until people start selling it on the secondary market. But it is a Pulse exclusive. Again, unlimited pre-orders. Well, when I say unlimited, meaning you don't have to worry about it selling out. I don't know if they put a minimum of how many you can order yourself. I'm not seeing anything right off the bat. So they may have made, you could maybe order 20 of these, I guess, if you wanted to. But, and I mean, honestly, like if you're going to resell stuff, it's this type of thing where, if you pre-ordered 100, it still wouldn't prevent other people from being able to buy it themselves if they want. So if you bought a couple extra to resell at a later date, even if you mark the price up, that's not scalping in my opinion. So, I think that's more than fair. So, you might even buy an extra one as an investment or something for down the road. For those who end up not pre-ordering it or come to Marvel Legends late and want to get it. Because again, once, at least according to what Dan told me at San Diego, once that pre-order window closes on October 17th, you will no longer be able to get this figure. So it's not like it's going to become available again when it comes in stock, which probably, it's going to be August, about a year from now, when this figure will actually ship out to people. But assuming Hasbro's, it's just like the Haslab. If you don't pre-order it while the pre-order window, then you would have to go to the secondary market to get it after that October 17th date. So that's the big thing to keep in mind. Again, no stretch goal. So what you see is what you get. There's no additions to this. And like I say, unless they got like just very minimum pre-orders, I don't think there's much chance that they would cancel this. So, no minimum stated goal to have to keep an eye on and hope that it crosses or anything like that. So yeah, again, that went up today. And usually they, I don't think they charge you until, I don't think they're going to charge you till the campaign closes. So I mean, even if you didn't have, I mean, I'm always one to say, make sure you have the money before you buy or pre-order something, even if, they don't charge you until the 17th, but that's really up to you. But again, I don't think they will charge you until October 17th when the campaign closes. So I'm going to just back over to your guys' comments. Me still coming in with answers to the first trivia question. Mr. Allmine says, I'm not going to know any of these questions. Well, Google can be your friend in these things sometimes. So, if you're trying to look up the answer on Google, I'm not going to know. That might slow you down enough that someone who does know is going to get the answer first, but there's always Google. Judge Shred says the price surprised him on the Dragon Man. Yeah, again, I didn't think it was going to be anywhere near 200. I thought at the absolute most, maybe 125, but I was really thinking 100. So I'm glad they actually came in under them of what I was thinking. Kobo Customs and Reviews ordered 10 Dragon Man. Go big or go home. Nice. So if you ever down the road after the window opens or closes and you decide you want to get Dragon Man, you know who to contact. Kobo Customs. He's got 10 of them. He's going to have 10 of them. I assume maybe some of those are for customizing, but Andreas, they charge shipping even being a premium member for now. Oh, that's interesting. Do they normally? I'm not a premium member, I don't follow, but like Haslabs, you get the free shipping if you're a premium member, right? because I'm assuming, maybe because it's a special thing, they don't offer the premium free shipping, but I don't know if they do that on Haslabs or not. Judge Dredd says it's exclusive to Pulse. I don't order nothing from them. I applaud, if you can get it at a smaller business or whatever, I applaud that. But, in the case of something like this, I mean, if it's something you want, um, I don't think anyone would fault you if you bought it from them. As I said, Daniel, I believe, I won't swear to it, but I believe they won't charge you until the campaign ends on October 17th. And yes, it is 100% exclusive to Pulse. This will not be offered anywhere else for pre-order. And like I say, once the window closes, according to Hasbro, it will not be offered again, other than unless you went to the secondary market. Uh, 80 saying no free shipping. So looks like they are not offer even to premium members. They're not offering the free shipping on this one. I don't want to waste time talking about the premium thing, but you'll never convince me it's worth paying $50 to be a premium member. CJ says with Action Grip, if they do Giant Man at that size, I'd be more happy. I would be more happy with that size. Like a 10 or 12-inch Giant Man. I don't know. I mean, yeah, especially from a space wise. And Giant Man, can be different sizes, but I don't know. I feel like if they had done like a 12-inch Giant Man, people wouldn't have been as excited for it. But I don't know. Uncaged says website states will not be charged until item ships. And so that's weird. Usually they charge you when the campaign closes, but according to, I have not confirmed that, but according to Uncaged, he's saying they're actually not going to charge you until the item ships out next year. We're saying no to having to pay for shipping. Shipping is free. You just have to select the. Okay. So 80 is saying free shipping for premium members, as long as you're willing to go with the economy shipping. So that was the big news from Marvel Legends today. However, we did get an official press release on PulseCon and the PulseCon exclusives. So we've got some details on PulseCon. So PulseCon exclusives. PulseCon this year is only a one-day event and not going to start until 1 p.m. Eastern time, which says to me they're getting rid of all the fluff and stuff this year, and it's pretty much just going to be straightforward panels, which we should see a panel for GI. We don't have a panel schedule yet, but we should see it, again, starting at 1 p.m. and probably going until 5, because that's when the exclusives are going up for pre-order. So PulseCon is probably going to go from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern time. And panels should include Marvel Legends, Star Wars, Transformers, G.I. Joe. I think that's primarily it. I don't think they're doing Ghostbusters, anything for Ghostbusters. And I wouldn't maybe Dungeons and Dragons, game stuff, not toy related. But again, 1 p.m. So being it's 1 to 5, it's only a 4-hour event. I'm guessing they're not going to have much in the way of concerts and things like that, like in years past. And again, a reminder, so G.I. Joe Classified is going to be the Starduster figure. We saw this at San Diego Comic-Con. So this is the G.I. Joe Classified PulseCon exclusive, which I probably will pick this one up, but honestly, if I missed out on this one, I wouldn't. It wouldn't be the end of the world for me. We've already gotten figures with the jetpack and stuff, so I could live without that one. Star Wars is the Stap and Flyer for Black Series. So again, we saw that during San Diego Comic Con from Episode 1. Marvel Legends is the Kang the Conqueror. There was some confusion of whether this was actually going to be a PulseCon exclusive, but it looks like it is. So it was always said, we always knew it was going to be a Pulse exclusive. We just didn't know if it would actually be a PulseCon exclusive, but it looks like it is. So the Kang with the floating chair is the Hasbro Marvel Legend PulseCon exclusive. And then finally for Transformers, that multi-pack, that Dinobot Legacy multi-pack, Dino King, as they call him. So that is the Transformer PulseCon exclusive. So again, those pre-orders will go live at 5 p.m. for the premium members, and then for everybody else at 6 p.m. Or no, I'm sorry, I misread that. For Pulse premium members, the stuff goes up at 4 p.m. and then for everyone else at 5 p.m. So premium members get the hour jump, again starting at 4 p.m. So that might even mean that PulseCon will end at 4, not 5 o'clock, which probably even better. But again, premium Pulse members will get access to the exclusive starting at 4, and then again everyone else at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So, and then that's really it for your Marvel Legend news for the day. We already talked about the Rattler, unlocking everything and stuff. So that's really it for G.I. Joe. More big news for the day, though. It was announced via toybook.com that the Loyal Subjects, which you may be familiar with their BST AXN 5-inch figures, they've done multiple license brands with that, but Turtles is probably the biggest one that they do. They've done a few vehicles. So M.A.S.K is finally coming back for you folks. Indications are it's going to be the same scale as the original line. In this quote from the CEO of Loyal Subjects, it says, M.A.S.K has all the crazy features, vehicles, small figures with removable helmets, closed box packaging, and with killer logo splash, artwork, and product shots all coming back. They're in the same scale, and we're serving it hot and fresh, like 85 never left. So originally I was thinking maybe they would be the 5-inch figures, but I guess I don't remember the exact scale of the original M.A.S.K figures, but I believe they were smaller than 5-inch. So, and then also Gem, they're going to be doing a line of Gem figures. Basically, they've inked this deal with Hasbro. As we've talked about many times, how Hasbro is licensing out all these, all the licenses, or they're farming out all the licenses that they own to other smaller toy companies to start making products. ROM, so we know the Marvel Legend ROM figure is coming. That's a one-off figure, but ROM as a toy line is coming back through the Loyal Subject. So again, I'm thinking probably going to be smaller scale figures mostly, but we don't really have any details on that. But ROM is making a full return, not just the Marvel Legend figure, but it's getting its own action figure line through the Loyal Subjects. Some of these other brands, My Pet Monster, Poppies, My Buddy. I remember My Buddy just because of the annoying commercials. My buddy, my buddy, my buddy and me. But that's coming back, and Space Knight, and then again M.A.S.K, which I think is the big one that people have been asking for years. So not 6-inch, but basically the same scale as the original M.A.S.K line. So from the Loyal Subject. So that was kind of surprise news today. All right, before we get any more news, let's do another trivia question. Actually, let me just go through you guys' comments before we get too far ahead. Judge Troy says, really need Dragon Man, but I have plenty of dragons already. One day is good. It means no fluff. Yep. well, not just one day, but like only a few hours in the day. So, like I think last year they shrunk it down to one day, but it was still like all day. So definitely, I think much less fluff this year. Yes, I think that's probably a good bet for GI Joe Classified that will be announced, maybe even go up for pre-order. I feel like the stuff that they showed digital renders for during San Diego Comic Con is the stuff that will be going up for pre-order. Besides the PulseCon exclusives, don't forget there's going to be retail pre-orders for Marvel, has GI Joe, Star Wars, Transformers, all again late in the afternoon. And we don't know exactly what. But again, Hanzo, I agree with you. Nemesis Enforcer is probably a good bet, or at least we'll get a better look at it. Jeremy, I don't know. And then also, as far as Transformers go, September 17th is officially Transformer Day. So there will be more Transformer stuff then. And also, it was announced that Hasbro will have a panel at New York Comic Con this year. I don't think they're going to have a booth, but they're going to have a panel, one panel on the 18th, October 18th. Checking for the time. They don't give the time, but October 18th, there will be a New York Comic Con panel for all their brands, G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Marvel. They do list Ghostbusters for that panel. So that might be when they announced the Ghostbuster Haslab that they were teasing earlier in the year. I don't know, just speculating. But Ghostbusters was mentioned as one of the brands that will be talked about in this panel at New York Comic Con. G.I. Joe, Transformers, Star Wars, and Marvel are the other main ones. So there will be some presence. Again, I don't think Hasbro's going to have a full on booth. They might have like the Dragon Man figure out at the Marvel booth, though the pre-order for Dragon Man will have ended essentially. I believe. I don't have the exact dates of Comic Con, but I think Comic Con starts like the day after the Dragon Man pre-order start or ends. So I don't know if they'll have it on hand or not, but that's a possibility at the Marvel booth, just so people can see it. But again, they will have a presence at San Diego Comic Con this year. Oh, we got some Jada toy news for some new Street Fighter pre-orders, which we'll get to in a minute. CJ. Well, they've already teased Nemesis Enforcer. They put out that package image a while back, but I suspect it's possible it could go up for pre-order, or at the very least, they will give us a real look at it. And John Doe says, "Damn, Ace is killing it with M.A.S.K. What to do?" I mean, there's probably going to be more. I mean, he's talking about Ramen Toys doing the bootlegs. I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to end up getting more pressure to stop doing anything for M.A.S.K, but I guess we'll have to see how that plays out. Storm Rising, what is up? M.A.S.K figures was smaller than G.I. Joe in the 80s. Storm Rising wants some Monster Pocket. Henry G's in the house. What is up? Happy Monday to you. Yeah, that's the only my buddy, that commercial, that stupid jingle is the only thing I remember. Jason, waiting patiently for Blowtorch. Heard there are at least 6 Joe pre-orders launching. Like I said, I feel like to know what's going up for pre-order, just go back, and I don't even remember off the top of my head what we saw digital renders for at San Diego, but in large part, that's probably what your pre-orders are going to be. I remember the Cobra Claw small vehicle was one of the renders. So I wouldn't be surprised that that's going to go up for pre-order on Friday. Judge Dredge, their BSTAXN line is 5-inch. You're correct, but according to the quote from their CEO, as far as the M.A.S.K figures go, they will be the same scale as the original M.A.S.K. But yes, most of their action figures they do, which are for that BSTAXN line, are 5-inch figures. Mr. Beltran, I was able to pre-order a Jada Can exclusive on Big Bad Toy Store, but it got taken down. Any info on that? I actually didn't even know they had it listed. I'm going to say if your pre-order went through, that assuming it's just that they put it up early and took it down, then they will I don't think you have anything to worry about. If for some reason they list it and they're not able to offer it, then they probably would cancel your order, but I haven't heard anything specific. But usually when that happens, it's just because there was a mix up when it was supposed to be listed for pre-order, and so they had to take it down. But they almost always honor, if anybody managed to pre-order it when it was up for the brief time, then they usually honor that pre-order. Slim, I don't have any specific. I assume you mean as far as what they're going to reveal. I don't have any specifics. Again, as far as GI Joe, I think if you go back and look at the renders, you can guess what's going to go up for pre-order. And if you look at the name reveals that they've given most recently, those are probably what we will see renders for. And then they'll have in-hand images, or they'll have new name reveals as well. Usually is how it goes. Marvel Legends. I in the press release it says a wave of Marvel Legend figures, so it's possible the Secret Wars wave, which is supposed to be released at the very end of this year. We saw last week Entertainment Earth put it up in error. That wave, a case of it in error. So it's possible that could. I don't have any specific details on what figures will be in that Secret Wars wave as of yet, but I do think there's a good chance that is what they will end up announcing. Though they could also wait and hold that until New York Comic Con, but either New York Comic Con or PulseCon for that Secret Wars wave. But I don't really have any specific. Star Wars, I think we're going to see Skeleton Crew stuff. We already started to see some of that leak out. So for that new series, Disney Plus series. So I think that's what Star Wars will be on. And Transformers, I'm not sure. Maybe some of the stuff they've done pipeline reveals. I would love if they show off their, or at least the first figure for their new Devastator that they announced at San Diego. That I would love to see that, but I don't have any specifics. Just more speculation than anything. I I know that's what it's supposed to stand for, but I just say BSTAXN. But yes, that is what it stands for. Best action. Not sure if that's an accurate description for those figures, but that is what it technically stands for. Yeah, the price that Entertainment Earth listed for that Secret War wave, I'm going to guess, and it's purely a guess, but I think that was probably not a correct price, because I would put them at $33. So as I said previously when I talked about that, I mean, if you think about, I don't know how it works with, like, if these in fact incorporate the same packaging as the original Mattel Secret War figures, which is kind of what I think the going thought is, that is how these will be released. I don't know if they have to pay Mattel any kind of fee for the use of that design. Um, so that could add to the cost. If they include the holographic shields like the original Secret Wars figures, that might cost extra. So I wouldn't say it's impossible they could charge $33 a figure for those, but I do feel like that's probably was an error and they won't be quite that much. But we'll have to wait and see. Storm Rising. I did not see Anthony's customs of his biker mice from Mars, but it's cool he gave it high praise. They look pretty good. Biker mice was never my thing, so I didn't really have much interest. But from what I've seen of those figures, they do look pretty good. Jason says, would love carded Daredevil, throwback to the Secret Wars line. Yeah, even though he wasn't ever in Secret Wars, he was one of the figures that Mattel did. So that would be certainly a possibility. I think that brown costume Wolverine that they showed off at the end of San Diego, that they kind of like threw other X-Men arcade video game figures around to make us think it was part of some kind of arcade line, I feel like might be one of the figures in the Secret Wars line. I could see them giving us Cyclops, maybe Captain America and Iron Man, probably maybe a single release of that Doctor Doom figure that came in the 2-pack with Captain Marvel. I mean, I do think the line is going to include a lot of reissue, slightly maybe retooled figures, but maybe only 1 or 2 new characters. I'm thinking. I hope one of those characters is at last a Beyonder figure, but who knows? CJ needs the brown Wolverine for Outback. Roy, what's up? Jason says Wolverine definitely for the Secret Wars wave, he thinks. Yeah, I would not be surprised if them putting those X-Men arcade, they were X-Men arcade figures, but they were figures of characters in the X-Men arcade along with the brown costume Wolverine, to try and kind of throw us off with their teaser. I would not be surprised at all. All right, it's time for question number 2. So we're down to 4 questions. For those of you who joined us late, we are giving away Haslab G.I. Joe Classified Rattler. The winner will have to send me today their information. There'll be an email address in the video description when this video ends, that you will want to send me your name and mailing address that I will then pass on to Hasbro when I purchase the vehicle, so that when it goes out, it'll be sent directly to you. Again, the campaign ends today, so I have to have the information today. We've drawn 1 card so far, so we have 1 name, Stinky Cat Butt. Got the first question right. First correct answer I see on my screen is the name I will call out, will be the name I write down on the card and enter into the bucket. So we have 4 more questions. You can get more than 1 question right to increase your chances of winning the drawing. You can Google the answers if you don't know it, and hope you can Google fast. So here's question number 2 for the Cobra Rattler. And all questions are G.I. Joe related specifically to the Cobra Rattler and Wild Weasel, or Wild Weasel, who of course is the pilot for the Cobra Rattler. But it can be cartoon based, it can be comic book based, it could even be toy based. So, but they all relate to either Wild Weasel or the Cobra Rattler. Okay, this is one you may have to Google, but who voiced Wild Weasel in the Sunbow cartoon series? Again, who voiced the character Wild Weasel in the Sunbow cartoon series? I need a full name. There we go, Mr. Allmine. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry, Mr. Sorry, I hate to give you false word, but I do. Jason S. A bunch of answers came in all at the same time. Jason S. is the first one that popped up on my screen, even though he's got a little extra character in him, but I'll take that. No, not Pauly Shore J, but Jason C. Pat Fraley, I think is how you say it, was the voice actor for Wild Weasel in the cartoon. So, Mr. Allman, you were close on that one, but Jason's came in first on my screen. So Jason S. is the winner for that question. So I'm writing his name down on the back of the card. And folding this up. So we now have 2 names. Sorry, lose my cursor. These folded up good. So we now have 2 names in the bucket. We still have 3 questions left. So you still have a chance. And Stinky Kappa, you were close, but I needed the full name on that one, so. And then I see a bunch of correct answers coming in. But all right, so we'll do another question here in just a minute. But let's get back to some more news here. So we talked about M.A.S.K. We talked about PulseCon exclusives. We talked about Dragon Man. Um, so what else do we got worth talking about? Should note for you McFarlane fans, we have a new Joker figure, Silver Age Joker figure, which looks pretty nice. I might actually go as far as saying that might be their nicest looking Joker they've done to date. This will be going up for pre-order on September 12th. Should be available at most retailers. Also, an Earth 2 Robin figure going up for pre-order that same day. So I don't know if there'll be any other figures, but right now those are the only two they've announced. But again, both of those are going up on September 12th. Also, just to note, not major news since we've already seen the listings before, but Walmart has now listed the 78 Christopher Reeve Superman figure. No images. The pre-order, you can't actually purchase it. But it is listed on there currently on Walmart's website. You can see down here DC 7-inch Superman movie 1978. So further confirmation that figure is coming, and maybe even an indication that we could be seeing the pre-order actually go officially live with images fairly soon. I honestly, we've got that Christopher Reeve biopic Superman movie coming out in theaters starting on September 25th. So I would not be surprised if they launched the pre-order for this figure around that time. That's just speculation on my part, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if they did something like that. But again, we have further information on or further confirmation of that thanks to Walmart. It's pretty much major news-wise. New NFL figures went up for pre-order yesterday. There's a Harley Quinn statue coming up for pre-order tomorrow if you're into the statues. Based on Ivan Teo's artwork. So on a skateboard, Harley Quinn. Let's see what else we got. Got some new official images for upcoming Origins Masters of the Universe fans. So for the Turtles of Grayskull, we have M.A.S.K, Donatello. These are part of the Reptile Wars subline that they're now starting to do with this Turtles of Grayskull, with the Snake Men, Rattler, Raphael. I think we saw most of these, if not all of them, at San Diego Comic-Con. No idea yet when these are going up for pre-order, but I'm thinking probably pretty soon. And then we also have some new cartoon collection figures with Triclops, Manny Faces, and Hordak. I don't know who took this. Which one was it? I don't know who took this picture, but it looks like Hordak's dancing. So again, new images and pre-order details will likely be coming soon. Not much on the NECA front. Some 4-inch Beetlejuice figures. Not going to really spend any time on that. And I talked about this other stuff on Friday, so. Some new AEW figures from Jazzwares, the Hardy Boys 2-pack. This is going to be an Amazon exclusive, but it's not yet up. But if you're into AEW versions of the Hardy Boys, then you might want to get this one. Again, it's going to be an Amazon exclusive. Oh, yeah, as someone mentioned earlier. So we saw these at San Diego, but they are now available for pre-order places like Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth. It is the Cammy and the DJ figures for their 6-inch Street Fighter line. So with that, we've got new official images. I probably will get both of these. Cammy looks pretty good overall. And then DJ. So again, those are up for pre-order now if you want to, secure them for your collection. I assume at some point they'll go up on Amazon. At Target, going back to AEW, we've got another 2-pack, John Moxley and MJF. Seems like Jazzwares has done a ton of John Moxley figures, MJF too. I don't really follow AEW, so yeah, so that's pretty much it. Jeremy says, wonder when we will see Mirage April and Mirage Leatherhead. I assume you mean an updated Mirage April because they did a Mirage April back in the day, because I have that one. Wondering if I can use the Cammy's alternate head for Siren. I've not ever tried to switch heads between the Jada stuff and Marvel Legends, so I couldn't tell you. Maybe. I'm going to say it's probably not going to be a perfect fit, but you could probably jury rig it, maybe. John Brooks, greetings from Ireland. Greetings to you. Oh, I guess one thing I should note on the drawing we're doing here for the Haslab Rattler, you have to have an address that Hasbro Pulse will ship to, because again, the way it will work is you will give me your name. The winner will give me their name and address. I will give that to Hasbro, and then when they ship out, they'll ship one to you. But if you're at a location that Hasbro Pulse doesn't ship to, then that unfortunately will automatically disqualify you. So I did not state that before, so I just want to be clear on that. And yeah, let's do another question. We got 3 questions left. So again, for those of you who kept coming in late, I am giving away a G.I. Joe Haslab Cobra Rattler. All stretch goals have been unlocked on it, so the Baroness will be included. We're doing a trivia contest. So a total of 5 questions. We've done 2 already. First correct answer I see pop up on my screen is and that I call is the name that will go into the bucket at the end of before we end things. I will draw one name out of the bucket, and that person will win. I'll have my email address in the video description below. They will have to give me their information today, because the campaign ends today. And again, the way it'll work is I'll go to buy one basically, but instead of putting my name and address in, I will put your name and address in, so that when it goes out, it will go to you. So we've got 3 questions left. You can you can get more than one question right to increase your chances of winning. Again, we have 3 questions. So far, we have 2. The winners of the first 2 questions were different people. So right now, it's kind of nobody has an advantage over anyone else at the moment. Okay, this is kind of a trick question. So I will actually take who answers. So don't think about this too hard. And I'll explain why it's kind of a trick question after I get the correct answer. Okay. So again, don't think about this one too hard. Did the Cobra Rattler appear in the Mass Device miniseries? So that's your question. Did the Cobra Rattler appear in any of the 5 episodes that was the Mass Device miniseries? Okay. I'm going to take CJ as the first answer I got. It wasn't, again, it was a trick question because I would take either yes or no, and CJ was the first one to answer. And the reason why I consider this a trick question is because a vehicle that looks very similar to the Cobra Rattler was used in, I think it was episode 4, when they go to the volcano and to get the asteroid. Those jets aren't, they're a little bit different than the traditional Cobra Rattler. This was before the toy was announced or anything. But the reason why I will take yes as opposed to no is because the first television commercial for the toy, the Cobra Rattler, they actually use footage from that scene in the cartoon for the Cobra Rattler. So that's why I call it a trick question, and that's why I was willing to take yes or no, because technically it's not the exact Cobra Rattler that we came to know finally with the actual toy. It's very similar, but it's a little different. But because I guess Hasbro considered it so similar that they used the footage from that cartoon episode for the actual Cobra Rattler toy, that they kind of consider that like maybe an early prototype for the Cobra Rattler. So yes or no would have given you the correct answer. And again, CJ with Action Grip was the first one that came in with the correct, with an answer, which, like I say, in this case, so CJ with Action Grip, I am writing your name down on the back of this card, holding it up. And your name now goes in the bucket. So we've got 3 different people so far in the bucket. We have 2 questions left. So you still have a chance to get into the drawing. And because we're coming up on the end of the hour, I'm going to probably go on and ask the next question here in just a minute. I see John's in the house. Good to see you. Bunch of answers coming in. Kobo got. I told you it was a trick question and not to think about it too hard. So I tried to kind of give you a heads up that you could have gone with either one. As far as ads, I assume you're talking about YouTube ads. Unfortunately, I don't have much control. YouTube submits or enters those in, so I don't know when that's. Yeah, that's kind of on them. So if you got hit with an ad, I am sorry for that. But again, you still have chances to win, so don't give up just yet. CJ says, "See, I thought those were actually Rattler." I I mean, I don't like, if there is a one true answer, I don't know what it is, because they are clearly have differences. The colors are a little bit different, lighter blue. They're not the exact same design. They're definitely like a VTOL type vehicle, and they have a lot of similarities, but they are different. So I feel like somebody created it in the cartoon, and then when they went to design the toy later on, they made changes. But like I say, because the reason why I consider yes is because if you actually have watched the original first toy commercial that aired on TV for the Rattler, they used the footage from that first episode. Yeah, and again, as far as delays and stuff, I can't control that. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make this as fun as possible, but that's why I say I've got to go with the first correct answer I see on my screen. But that's why I also try and give you guys, multiple questions for multiple chances. CJ says it's like CoverGirl. She's in it blonde, but with the toys, yeah. But at least with that, they actually call her CoverGirl, so there's no doubt that even though she had blonde hair originally in the cartoon, and then they changed it on the toy and stuff, that's still CoverGirl. But they never call the vehicle by name. They just fly to the volcano, and it was like our first time seeing. I think that was like the first Cobra jet vehicle that we ever saw, at least in the cartoon. Um, I I don't remember if the Rattler showed up in the comic or the cartoon first? I don't remember. When I say, well, they list the Rattler as a VTOL, but what I basically, the wings turn and it lifts up in the air. You could tell the vehicles in that first episode had that same feature, which is, very characteristic of what I think many of us think of. Even if we're not like military jet experts, when we think of the Cobra Rattler, we think how the wings turn and and essentially the vehicle can go straight up in the air. John Brooks, I have an account with Hasbro PulseCon. I bought a few items from it. I think they're located. Yeah, if Hasbro Pulse will ship to you, then you're golden. But like I say, if Hasbro won't ship it to you, then that would disqualify you. Because again, it will be shipping out. It's not gonna. It's not like it's gonna come to me and then I'm shipping it to you. I'm just going to have it shipped directly. That's how I always do these Haslabs. Is I just have it shipped directly to the winner by Hasbro. That way, if Hasbro screws it up or whatever, that's between you and Hasbro to get it straightened out. Um, yeah, Grey Ghost. We talked about Dragon Man. It is available for pre-order. That was one of our first topics of the day. You should do a pick a number for your next question. Marie says, I remember an appearance of a Rattler and attack at a funeral, and it got shot down by Roadblock and Duke. It was the first appearance in the comics. Well, that was our first question, was what issue did the Rattler first, or Wild Weasel, but I think it was also the Rattler. Technically, the question is what issue did Wild Weasel first appear in, but I think that was also the first issue the Rattler appeared in the comics, was issue 24, but I don't know if which came out first, issue 24 or the cartoon episode with the Rattler. I'm going to say the cartoon, but I won't swear to it. Okay, got two questions left. Let's go on and ask the next one. All right. What G.I. Joe Marvel comic issue do Ace and Wild Weasel face off with each other and salute each other at the end of the issue? So, what G.I. Joe Marvel comic issue was the story where Ace, G.I. Joe's crack pilot, and Wild Weasel face off in Sky Striker versus Rattler, and at the very end, the two pilots salute each other out of respect? Philip, I'm just double checking, but I believe Philip is the first one with the correct answer, at least popping up on my screen. Philip Martinez with issue number 34. You're correct. Um, Basically, the whole issue is about them dogfighting with each other, and at the end, they basically, Lady J was in the back of the Sky Striker with Ace, and Baroness was in the back of the Rattler with Wild Weasel, and the two pilots basically go off on their way, and salute each other at the end. So Phil, that's a really good issue. That's one of my favorite issues from the original GI Joe comic. So Phil Martinez, your name is now going into the bucket. So we've got one more question left. 4 in the bucket, 1 to go. And I'm just going to go on and ask the final question because, again, we're kind of getting at the end of the hour. So I'm only going to take one answer for this. So if somebody comes up with another name that maybe was used and it's not the answer I have written on the card, I'm not going to accept it. But this, I think, would be the most common answer. So, what is another name used for the Cobra Rattler? So what else does this vehicle sometimes get called other than the Cobra Rattler? Still not seeing a correct answer, or at least the answer that I have written on my card. Oh, wait, I think I saw it. I'm going to take this one from Bernard because he appears double seat ground support aircraft isn't what I have written on the card, but what I do have written on the card is tank buster. So, at least I remember the vehicle often being called the tank buster. So, that was the answer I've written. That's the answer I consider to be correct. So, Bernard, I am giving you that one. Like I say, Warhog, A10, those are, you could probably say, but I was looking for a specific name. So, Bernard. Dugan. So you are our fifth and final name to go into the bucket. So no repeats. Sometimes we get somebody who gets multiple answers right. So it's basically your chances are 1 in 5 here. So remember, you have to have an address that Hasbro Pulse will ship to. You have to get me your information, which will be your name and mailing address, before the campaign ends later today. Because if the campaign ends, if you don't give me the information and the campaign ends, then I can't get it to you. So you kind of forfeit if for some reason. Hopefully everybody who's in this bucket is still listening. And I will have my email address, which again is jay@enewsi.com. But again, I will have that in the video description until the winner contacts me as soon as this video ends. But main thing is don't piddle around. Get me your information as quickly as possible so that I can go on and get your order in before the campaign ends later today. So trying to mix it up good. Not looking in the bucket. Okay, I have the winner in my hand. I haven't opened it yet, so I don't know which one it is. I know the suspense is killing you for the 5. The winner is, the question was, what G.I. Joe Marvel comic do Ace and Wild Weasel face off with each other in? Issue number 34, which was correctly answered by Phil Martinez. So you are the winner, my friend. Congratulations. So again, the way it will work is I will put my email address in the video description below as soon as this video ends. You will need to email me with your name and your mailing address that you want to use, because again, I will then go over to Hasbro Pulse. I will make the purchase, but instead of putting my own name, I'll pay for it, of course, but instead of putting my own name and mailing address in, I will put your name and mailing address in. And then next year, whenever Hasbro starts to ship these things out, you should get your Cobra Rattler in the mail. So I don't know if you already bought one. If so, you'll have a second one to either army build with or maybe even resell if you want to. But again, thank you. Thank you to everybody who tuned in today. Again, I know things like delays and shit suck. My goal is to try and make it as fun as possible, but definitely when you don't win, I know it kind of sucks. But hopefully, you guys all had a good time. As Phil chimed in, just is he still here? Oh, there you are. Okay, cool. So remember, email me with your info, name and mailing address as soon as this video ends. just so I can go and get your order in, because the campaign again does end today. And I am excited for the Cobra Rattler myself. Of course, I've already got my own. I already put in the order for my own, and I can't wait for it. I think all the figures look great. I mean, I will be the first to say the Cobra patches were stupid, but I don't really care. But the Wild Weasel looks fantastic. The Baroness looks like possibly the best Baroness that they've ever given us. And the Cobra Rattler Gunner looks pretty cool too, which I think also, essentially, if you were to army build the Rattler, and if you've got the space and the money, God help you, but you could use the Gunner as a generic pilot for the Rattler, since you don't have like Wild Weasels, and since Wild Weasel is a specific guy, not like a generic pilot. I think the Cobra Rattler Gunner would work as a generic pilot. So, but that is, I think that's where we're going to leave it today. But again, thank you everybody who tuned in today. Don't forget, for you Marvel Legend fans, Dragon Man pre-order is open. You've got until October 18th to get your pre-order in, so you don't have to rush. It's not going to sell out. It's a made to pre-order type thing. So only $85, so not too bad of a price. Pretty nicely detailed figure, good size, cheaper than I thought it was going to be. Matt, for you M.A.S.K fans, good news today I guess depends on how you look at it, but I think, I give Loyal Subject, sounds like they're going to deliver, see what they come up with. But new M.A.S.K toys official M.A.S.K toys are in fact coming back to the market. And so again, and don't forget Friday PulseCon. So it's going to be a busy week. I mean, today much busier than I thought, and it's probably going to carry through the week. New DC Multiverse pre-orders, Hasbro pre-orders on Friday, reveals on Friday. So Friday is definitely going to be a big day. I don't know. I'll be back on Wednesday with another live stream video. Friday I'm a little up in the air, just because if Hasbro PulseCon ends at 4, then I'm still, like, normally I do a pre-recorded video, but it takes a while to edit and everything. So I may just end up doing like a special live stream on Friday just to go over everything that was revealed at PulseCon. So I'm still playing that a little bit by ear, but definitely we'll be back on Wednesday with a regular live stream video. And again, thank you everybody who tuned in. Congratulations again to Phil. And until next time, guys, I will catch you later. Thanks for watching today's video. Now, if you're new to the channel, please think about hitting that subscribe button. Also hit the bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. For all the latest action figure news, be sure to head over to ToyNewsEye.com, MarvelousNews.com, JediInsider.com, and TFormers.com. And remember, action figures are great,